Hello friends, welcome to the last part, I believe, of our Fullstack Tax Manager application. And in this episode, we are going to integrate our front end with our back end. Okay, so if you remember, this is where we ended and we are done with our back end. Okay, so we'll use, if you remember, if you want to add tasks, right, you can add assets and we'll use Firebase. You can also use Cloudinary if you want, or if you have any other alternative. Okay, so I'll go to console.firebase.google.com, or you can just search Firebase console and log in with your Google account. Okay, so I have a project here already, but if you don't have, just go to create or add a project, give the name tax manager. I'll put underscore YouTube. Okay, and make sure the name exists or the naming convention is correct. Click to continue. I will not need analytics. Continue. Then it will take a little bit of time to create the project. Okay. So whilst it is creating, my apps are running. This is running on localhost 3000, as well as the backend also running on port 88,000. Okay, let's go check. So it's completed. Click to continue. Great. And when you come here, make sure that the project is selected here, right? It's selected. Then we have apps you can create: iOS, Android. This is a web app, so click on the web here and you give a name of your app, right? So I'll say MERN Tax Manager. Then click on register app. Now you're giving the installation command to install. So I'll create a new terminal and make sure you cd into the client directorate and paste it and install it. Okay, so whilst it is installing, move to your source directorate and inside the src, create a file called firebase.js. Okay, let us go back and you see we have been given this, right? Okay, copy it and come and paste it here. Okay, so we have been given all of this. Now you see we have our API key here. We have our app ID. Now it is not advisable to store your keys publicly like this, because when you push your app to GitHub or to any public domain, people can see your keys. Therefore, we'll use an environment variable. How do we use environment variable when it comes to Vite? Okay, so let's just search Vite. Go to the Vite website, right? Okay, so maybe we can search. Where is the search? Okay, search is here, and let's search for environment, right? Environment. Okay, so you can see env variables here. How do we get it in Vite here? Okay, so if you want to create Vite, environment variable, you can go with the naming conventions like .env.env.local or env.mode. Maybe we'll use this or any one of your choice. And when you create it, it says that you need to have a certain naming conventions, right? So you need to have like Vite, then the rest of the variable name will follow. You need to precede all your variables name with Vite, else it will not work. And this is how you can import it. So you do import.meta.env.vite, your variable name. Okay, so let us go and create it. Okay, so Firebase is still installing. So we'll take things like the API key, right? Great. We'll cut it from here. We'll cut it from here, and inside the main directory, not inside the source, just put a .env there, and as it suggests, Vite, right, underscore. Perhaps we can add app app Firebase API key. Great. Then we'll paste what we copied, right? Great. Okay, I also want to get our base URL. So I'll say app underscore base URL. Okay, and that will be on http / localhost local. Okay, so localhost, and if you remember, we are running on 88, right? Great. Okay, so http this should be semicolon. Great. 88. Okay, so it's done installing, so we can hide this terminal. Okay, great. And I believe when you finish creating .env, maybe let's restart our app to avoid any errors. So npm run dev. Okay, great. So I'll copy this name, go in here, and if you remember, it says import .meta you understand, then env, then the name. Okay, great. So maybe we can cross check from the site. So you see import meta env, then the name, right? Great. So let's hope it works. Okay, so now let us go into our here Redux. We have slides, and in the slides we said we have API. Great. Okay, so okay, we even have this one here. Let me comment on this. Okay, let me duplicate this and good. Now let me say import .meta .env what's the name, base URL, and bring it here. Okay, then this will go here. Okay, and it comes perhaps we can concatenate it with the API endpoint. Okay, so you know that after the 88,000 we have /API. Okay, so I hope it will work. Okay, so now let us begin to do our calls, right? Okay, so we'll begin from authentication. So inside the API here, create a file called auth API slice slice.js. Great. So in here we will say it cons auth URL should be equal to I think that one goes to it's supposed to be /user, right? Yes, I think it's /user. Okay, we don't want to repeat it, that's why we just want to declare it here, right? Okay, now what will we need? Okay, we'll need the various functions. So say export cons auth API slice equal to API slice. If you remember, we have this API slice. Great, you can go into it. Yeah, this one. Okay, so API slice dot inject endpoints. Great, inject endpoints. So if you remember from here, we said we are using the query that comes with Redux toolkit, right? Great. And I like this one so much because all the other states like loading, error, pending, all those stats are handled for you, right? So we don't need to worry about it. Okay, so inject endpoints. Okay, so the endpoint, great, will be open parenthesis and have builder and arrow function parenthesis then CODEBASE. Okay, so now we are going to define the various functions, right? So the first one will be login. So we'll also get a builder dot. Now there are two main things. If you check here, you see we have mutations and query. Now queries are used to fetch data, right? That one you're not going to perform any action. So like get request, you can use query. Now, if you want to perform action, like if you want to post something, update or put request, right, or patch request, then you use mutation. Okay, so if you remember, our login is a post request, so we need to use the mutation, right? Okay, so parenthesis, then we open an object in here. Okay, so we'll say query. Okay, then we'll get the data that will pass, then arrow, parenthesis, and object. Okay, so what will be the various things we need to provide in here? Okay, one, we need to provide the URL, and the URL will be okay, backtick, so auth URL, right? Then / we put login. Okay, so this is our URL. So if you remember, it will go to what we have here, right? HTTP localhost 88,000, right? Then / API / user / login. Okay, good. I hope you remember. You can check from the back end also. And we need to put the method, and the method is post method. Okay. Now we need to provide the body. Mutation takes body, and the body will be the data, right? Okay. Now, if you remember, we are using credentials, right? We are using credentials. Now, lest I forget, let us make these changes inside our backend, right? Go to here where we store our JWT token, right? Change this to none. If we use the straight, right, it will not be able to set the token on our local browser because we are not running in the same site mode, right? They're different, right? Okay, so make sure you change this to none, right? And because we are using cookies, we need to set what we call credentials to true, so that whenever we make a request, if the credentials, the cookie is needed, it will be passed along with it. We don't have to pass it. It will be passed along, right? So in all our requests, we'll pass cookies, right? If it's needed, we just set the credentials to true. Okay, so this will be it. And how do we use this? We just have to come down and say export, right, cons. So we want to export all of them. So parentheses, curly braces, I mean to say, then we just say use login. Now, the naming convention here, you just need to be a little bit careful, and we are going to export all of this. So let me just say from the alt slides first, right? Okay, so from the alt slides. Now, if you know this is login, that's the name, and it is a mutation, right? So we'll say use login mutation. If it is a query, we say use login query, right? Okay, so as we go on, you see it. So if you just start typing login, you see that the naming convention has been for you, so that you know this is a mutation. So use login mutation, right? Great. So wherever we want to call our function, this is what we will call. Okay, so now I think let me close this. Okay, we'll not need this, and Firebase no needed. Okay, let's hold on to this and hope that this will work. Right, great. So I'll first go to I'll open the app.gss page and move to login page. Great. It's not okay. Let me go here. Okay, login. Okay, great. So in the login page, how do we get it, right? So that we can make our API calls. Okay, so what we can say from here is we can just say cons, right? Then we give a name to it. This time we need to open square bracket, right? Square bracket, and we call the name as login, right? You can give any name you want, login. Now we can also destructure is loading from it, right? From the mutation, right? So it's equal to then the name that we gave, use login mutation. Login mutation. Okay, great. So make sure it's imported from here. So use login mutation. We have given the name of the function as login, and we are distraction is login. You can also get error, those things from it, right? Okay, great. So in here, now we are going to perform the action to login, right? We can wrap it around in a try catch if you want. Okay, so just say cons result should be equal to await. Okay, yeah, it's an async function await login. Then if you remember, it takes data, right? So if you check, it takes data. So we'll pass the data that we are receiving from here, we'll pass it. Now we need to unwrap the response that will come. But before then, let me just make it like this so that you know. Then let me console log the result so that when I put the unwrap method, then you will know what we are doing. Okay, so if an error occurs, right, we can console log the error. Okay, and if you remember, we also use the sooner, right, toast. So I will import toast, great, and just say error, right, and put the error. If it exists, there's data. If it exists, there's message, right? If they all do not exist, we can put the error dot, either error dot error, or I think error dot message. Okay, let's hope that one works. Okay, great. Now okay, so here, okay, we have this already. Okay, great. So now let us go and try it and see if we can log in. But before then, let us go to our state again, which is in the alt slice here, right? And I think we have user. Great, this user, great. So remove this, right, and make it null, right? We don't need this user again, the dummy user, we don't need it again. Okay, great. And go here and let's see. Okay, so I think I need to clear my local storage. So it's in application, local storage. Okay, I'll have to delete this. Okay, great. And okay, great. So we are here now. Okay, let me open the console again. Okay, great. So console. Okay, we do not have any error yet. Okay, great. So if I remember the name from our testing, maybe it was like this. So I'll just put any wrong thing and see. Okay, so we are getting an error which says that failed to construct. Okay. Okay, so we have an error. Okay, let's try it out and see. Okay, yeah, provide the provided value true is not a valid enum value of type request credentials. Okay, let me put the unwrap and see. Unwrap. Okay. Maybe this true. Credentials. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be credentials to be include. change this to include. Yeah, include. Okay, great. This is not supposed to be true. Change it to include. Okay, so maybe I can show you by removing this unwrap again. So okay, great. So let's try it again. Okay, so let me clear the console and put it forth. Okay, and we have another error. Okay, I think I should reload it. Let me reload. Okay, and I say admin, then I'll put the password. Okay, we have a message which is invalid. So it's in data and message. Okay, data and message, which is okay, so invalid email or password. Okay, great. Okay, so the tools is not coming, so change this to include. Nah, include. Okay, great. This is not supposed to be true. Change it to include. Okay, so maybe I can show you by removing this unwrap again. So okay, great. So let's try it again. Okay, so let me clear the console and put it forth. Okay, and we have another error. Okay, I think I should reload it. Let me reload. Okay, and I say admin, then I'll put the password. Okay, we have a message which is invalid. So it's in data and message. Okay, data and message, which is okay, so invalid email or password. Okay, great. Okay, so the tools is not coming, so great. Let me put the unwrap and let's see. Okay, reload again to avoid possible errors. Admin. Okay, put this. Okay, so now you see we're getting the notification that's invalid email or password, and you see that we have, yeah, it's also logged in here. Okay, so let's put the correct thing now and see. I want to believe that is it. Okay, so now you can see that now we have the information in here, and let us go and check on our application and see if information has been set. Okay, so we are yet to set it, but if you go to cookie, okay, cookie is here, cookie here, you see that the cookie has been set, right? Okay, so I can also delete that one. Okay, so now let us continue. Okay, great. So now we are logging in successfully, right? Okay, so the error is listed here and this one. So we can now remove this. Okay, so now that we have this, we need to dispatch an action, right, to our state, our Redux state, if you remember. So it comes dispatch should be equal to use dispatch. Great. So use dispatch. And when it is successful, right, all we have to do is to dispatch an action. And if you remember, the action is set credentials. Great, set credentials. Then we'll pass the result that will come. Okay. We'll pass the result. So when we pass the result, we need to navigate, right? We need to navigate using the navigate we created from the use navigation hook. and we go back to the home page, right, which in turn will take us to the dashboard, right? Okay, I hope you understand. So make sure set credential is also imported. Okay, great. Okay, so we have it this way, and if all is successful, I think we need to be taken to the appropriate page. Now let's go to the button, right, where we're showing the loader. Okay, so in here now we can just wrap this, great, and say that it's loading. Right now that we have that it's loading, if it is loading, we just need to call our loading component, right? Great. Else we show the button. Great. Like this, I believe. Oh, okay. It's loading. It's true. So if it's loading is true, we show the loader. Else we show the button. Okay. So let's go and try it again. Let's reload it. Great. And let's put this. Okay. And hit. So now the loader shows, and beautifully now we are logged in. So if we check the session, the cookies, you see we have the token here, right? And if you go to the local storage, now we have the user info also here. And even if we refresh it, we'll still have the same thing. If we want to go back to the login stage page, right? I think it's sign in or log. Okay, it's login, right? We'll be redirected back. Okay, great. So now we're making progress, right? So we'll be redirected back because we have this here that if the user exists, we redirect the user back. Okay, so now that we have created one like this, the rest will be very simple. The rest will be very simple because it is the same format. We just need to change names and maybe end the methods, right? We just need to change the name, right? The hook name. We just need to change the URL and the method, right? Okay, so I'll just copy this. Make sure you don't create. So you see now this one ends here, right? So this one ends here. Okay, so just copy it, paste it again, and call this register, right? Okay, so the register function will also be a mutation, right? Will also take data, right? It is the same. The endpoint is register, right? Great. It's also a post request. We'll need the data, and this will also be included. Pretty simple, right? And that one will also be, if you just type register, you see use register mutation, and that's all. Okay, so this one also ends here. We'll just paste another one for the log out. And the logout is also a post request, but that one will not need data, right? It's also a post request, so that one goes to logout, right? Also a post, so we'll not need anybody, so we can leave it like this or pass now, right? And credentials also included. Pretty simple. Okay, then just go here and say log out. Did we change the name? Use logout mutation. That's great. Okay, so now we are done with the authentication, right? So let us go into our app. Where were we getting the nav bar, the layout, use location? We have user here. Okay, so once we log in, what is the logout? Okay, so we go into the nav bar here, right? Okay, so we're fetching the user from here. Oh, great, we've done a great job. And the user avatar is here. So I think, okay, so here also we're fetching the user here. Okay, so meaning we're getting, okay, so in the logout function here, right? Okay, so in a logout function here, okay, so in a logout function here, now let us perform the logout. Okay, so in here, okay, so in here, let us also try to put try catch, try, and there is a catch. Okay, we get error. Did I put the layout correct? try catch. Okay, let me go try catch again and see. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so if you're logging out, we'll still use the toast, right? So just bring your toast, import it, dot error, right? And put the message as perhaps something went wrong. We don't need to console log print the error. Okay, so in here, so let us, now we have the dispatch, we have this. So let us also get our the logout function, right? So as usual, we'll call it logout, right? Great. We'll not need I'm not sure we'll need the let's say logout user. Oh, okay, anything. So use logout mutation. I'm not sure we'll need the loading, right? So all we have to say is await logout user dot unwrap. Okay, and this is supposed to be an async function. Great. And when it is true, we navigate the user to log in. Okay, I hope it works. Let us go and try it. Great. Okay, so if I click here, right, and I click on logout, okay, so we're taken back to the, and we are back. Okay, great. Okay, so I know why we are back. Let us not rush. Okay, so now when we log out, right, we have log out from our backend, right? So if you go to check, you may see that we have removed the cookie, right? Great, because we have logged out from our backend, so the cookie is gone, but we still have this user on our storage. That's why we are still back in. So we need to dispatch an action that will clear our storage. Okay, so we'll say dispatch, then we'll call logout, which is from which is in I think in our state where we have search credentials. I think we have logout also there. Yes, we have logout. Okay. Where is it here? Make sure you import it. Great logout. And that one does not take any parameters, so just call that. So when we log out, then we log out also from there, we clear our storage, right? Okay, great. So let us try it again and see. So just watch here. Okay, so log out, and now you see the storage is also cleared, right? So now we are log out. Okay, great. So now let us log in again. We're making progress. Great. And we are inside. Okay, so now we have, so now let us first go to users so that we'll try the create user, right? Try the create user. Okay. Okay, great. So I think we can remove this. Is there any other thing we need here? Nah. Okay, we are done. Okay, login is also complete. And this slide will not, okay, maybe we'll come and copy from it. Okay, we will not all slides. No, we'll not need this. Okay, maybe we'll come and copy this and modify it. Now far here, I don't think we'll need it. Okay. Okay, so now let us go to users. Okay, users page. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, so when we click on this button, we go to where we can add user, right? And that is inside here. Add user. Great. Okay, so add user here. Let us go to where we have the function. Okay, it's here. Great. We are using I think, yeah, let's mark it as async. Great. Async. Okay, so in here we have the user, we have couple of things. Okay, so now I think I'll take off these things, but wait for a moment. Okay, so I'll first get the function add. Let's okay, add new user, right? That will be the name I'll give, and it is coming from use register mutation. Great. Use register mutation, and I will need I don't think this is already defined. Okay, I will need thing like is loading, right? Also from it. Okay, great. So I think I can remove this is loading. Okay, let's leave this one for now before we get an error. It's loading. Okay, so inside here, okay, great. Inside here, we'll perform two actions, right? We'll use this same thing to create new user as well as update, right? Okay, so here, we'll first check if the user data exists, right? If the user data exists means that we want to update. If the user data does not exist, meaning we want to create new, so say const result, right, should be equal to await add new user, right? Then I'll pass the data. We'll receive the data from here. Great, because of we using a React hook form, so we'll get the data. I'll pass the data from here, right? Okay, so but then let me spread it and add password. Okay, password will be data.email. Okay, so we want to change the password, right? Now, because when we are creating accounts, we want the person's email address to be the default password. They can change it later. That's why I'm spreading it and passing the password as the email, right? You can do whatever you want. You can generate password for them. Perhaps you can use UUID to generate password, and you send the email as the email and their password to them to use it, right? But I will do it this way. Then unwrap. Great. Okay, so when it is successful, I'll just bring the tools and say success, tools success, and I'll bring the message that new user added successfully. Okay, great. And when an error occurs, I think we can also do same by saying toast.error. Then you can see something went wrong. Okay, great. So when we add a new user, right, after we are done adding, maybe we can have a timeout, right, timeout function. Okay, so when we create the user, let us set a timeout function, right, to close the modal, right? Okay, so after the timeout, we just set open, right, to false. If you don't want it, that I mean, you can do whatever you want, and I'll give the timer as 1500 seconds. Okay, you can give any timing of your preference or your choice. Okay, so let's go and try it. Not yet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I believe so. Okay. So let's click here and let's add a new user. We'll say new user, right? The title will be a developer, and then we say new new user at codewave.com, right? That's the email, and the role is also a code developer, right? Okay, let's click submit. Okay, great, and you have a tools that it's in. Okay, great. And now to users, and now we have 4. Okay, I want to believe. Okay, so we have new user, developer, a new user at CodeWave. Great. So yes, great. It is working. Great. It's in. Okay. So now let us also check how can we do the update, right? Okay, so in the updates, we'll first need to create another one of this, right? So what I will do is I will just copy this side, right? I'll copy this side, go to here, and just create another one that will say user API slice.js, right? And I'll paste this. And I'll say cons user, I think, yeah, okay, user URL / also user, okay, same as the other one. And let's import the slice API slice. Okay, so that one, what we're going to do is, how are we going to do the update, right? Okay, so we'll first need to check the how we can update. Okay, so we can change this name to update user, right? Okay, and here the endpoint is profile. Okay, so maybe I can open the routes and user route. Okay, so we're here. This update, this is what I want to do, right? Not this. I think it's okay, this one. Okay, profile, great. Okay, so profile, and it is what? A put request. So we can change here to put, and that also will need data and this, right? Okay, so maybe I can take one of these things. Yes, and we need to change this to this and also to this, right? Okay, so here also we just need to export it, right, equal to user slice. Is it user slice? What's the name we gave? Oh, okay, we need to change this. Let's change the name here to user slice. Okay, great. So we go to user API slice. Okay, so what's export cons? Okay, so the first one is update user, and it's also a mutation. Okay, great. So let's go inside the add user again, right, and get that function so that we can update the user. We can update the user as well. Okay, so also here I'll just say cons update user, right, equal to use update user mutation. And here, instead of it's loading, we need to change the name, right, to that is updating, because we have it's loading already. We can have another is loading, so it's updating. So if it's updating, then we can take off this now. Okay, so when the user data exists means we want to update it. So as usual, we just say cons result should also be equal to await, right, update user, right, great. We'll pass the data, right, because here we'll not update the password. Then unwrap it. Where did I press? Okay, great. And if it's successful, right, we will just put a toast.success, right, and I think the result will come with a message. So let's try it and see if it comes with a message, right? So let's do some conditional checks here. If user data, right, if user data dot underscore id equal to user dot underscore id, meaning that it is me updating my own information, right, then we can dispatch the updated information. Right? Okay, so call the dispatch, which I think we need here. So cons dispatch, dispatch equal to use dispatch. Use dispatch, and we call set credentials again. Then we just pass, or we can just spread, because this one will come as there is a variable dot user, because it will come with a message and also user. So we want to spread the user. Okay, great. I want to believe. Great. So if it is not me, then I don't need to update it because it's somebody else, right? Meaning the admin. But if it's my own, I can update my own. Maybe I updated my name and all those things. Okay, great. So let's see. Okay, so how do we update it here? Profile. Oh, I don't think we work on this. Okay. I mean, we'll check it. We'll check it. Okay. Okay, so now let us continue. Okay, so now what is the next thing is we need to get the team list, right? We need to get a team. So here we're going to get team, right? Great. So if you check, we are done with this, and this. So we need to go to get team. So let's go here and let's change this to get team list. It goes here and the endpoint is get team. If you remember, it is a get request, I believe. Then body is not needed. Okay, credentials, let's let it be. And this is not a mutation, but rather a query, right? Yes, we just want to fetch, so a query. Okay, so now notice, should I say the magic is use, right? You can just say get team, and now you see that it says that use get team query, and this time not mutation, right? So don't select the lazy one, use lazy, no, use this one. Okay, use get team query. Okay, so where are we going to use this? Where are we going to use it? Where we have users, the users page. Okay, so if we go here where we have our users page, yeah, right. Okay, so in here it's where we're going to use it. Okay, so how do we fetch data? Okay, I think we have done all the needful. All we need to do now is to fetch data. Okay, so how do we fetch it? Using our function created, our hook. So cons with the structure data that is also is loading, right? Great, and it is coming from use get team query. Great, get team query, right? And if I console log data, great. If I console log the data, great. You see it's undefined and undefined. Okay, we're getting an undefined. I think it has changed. Oh, okay, it's still undefined. Okay, so why undefined? Let me reload and see. Okay, so I'm still getting undefined. Okay, so in here we can also get, I think, error, right? Yes, error. And let's also console log the error and see. The error is not authenticated. Try logging again. Okay, so we are getting not authenticated, that we are not authenticated. Okay, I think now our token hasn't expired. We logged in not long ago. Okay, includes, yeah. Okay, we don't need data here. Okay, so I changed this to straight again and it seems to work, so just change it back to straight. Okay, great. Change it back to straight, and let us log out and log in again and see. Okay, and it's here, and if I reload it, okay, it is still there. Okay, so now let us go clear and go to team and see. So now we're getting the data, right? Are we getting 1 2 3 1 2 3? Okay, right? So if you remember, we were fetching the user data, the dummy data from somewhere. We're getting user data from where? Yeah, I think it's this summary. Okay, so where were we mapping over the user? if you check, right, okay, so it is just data. Okay, so all we need to do is now remove from here to here and just say data, and let's go and see if it works. Great, great, it's working. So now we have three, we have this and that. Okay, I thought we have 4 records in our database, right? Oh, it's 3, my bad, it's 3. Great. Okay, so let us go and create the user handler and the delete. Okay. Okay, so I will just, this ends here, right? Okay, so I'll just copy one, right? Paste it 2 times, and the first one should be delete user. Now delete user, and that one should be mutation. Great. And the endpoint is just an ID, right? And now I'll just provide an ID which will come through here, right? Great. So it's just user slash an ID. Then the method is delete. Okay, we include this. We don't need a body. Okay. And the next one should be an action, that is user action, I should say. Okay, that one should also be a mutation, and the endpoint is also that one will be also dot underscore id, id, not dot id. Okay, so that one will get data here. Okay, so we'll pass not only the id and others, we'll pass other parameters as well, and that will also be a put request, right? Because we want to update it. Okay, so this one will get delete mutation as well as user action mutation. Okay, let me break it down. Okay, like this. Okay, so well, we use this. Okay, great. So in here, so now let us get first delete user. Okay, great. It should come from use delete mutation. Okay, then the another one will be how should I call it? Okay, let me just call it user action, which is also come from use user action mutation. Okay, so don't forget the square brackets, right? Okay, great. Okay, okay, so first user action, it should be an async. Inside it we have try catch, great, and an error. We can just console log the error as well as use toast. Okay, great. Okay, okay, so in here we just say cons result should be equal to await, then it's user action, right? Then we pass the data. Okay, so first we pass the is active, right, to the negative. We just want to selected dot is active. Great. So if you check, you know that we have selected here, right? So we want to get the selected data and it's active, we just change it to the opposite, right? Okay, so we want to change it to the opposite of it. So if it's true, we change it to false. If it's false, we change it to true. And the ID will also be selected. I think it should be underscore ID. Great. And when we perform that, now there is this fetch function comes with something called refetch, right? So we can fetch it again. So once we perform the action, we can call the refetch, right? Great. And we'll put the toast.success. Okay. So result.data.message. Okay. And we can also have the timeout again. So I'll just, okay. So when it's true, let's bring this one here. We set the selected to false, then a timeout, setting the open action to false in order to close the pop-up, right? And the timer will be of 500 seconds. Okay. Let us also try the update. Okay. Delete. So async. Try. Great. Okay. So the same thing here. Okay. So cons result should be await delete user. Great. I will pass the ID, which will be selected. Now, you see that in the user action here, right, we're passing the whole object when we click on the selected. But this time when we click on delete, right, when we click on delete, we are not passing the whole object. We'll pass only the ID, right? Great, only the ID. And we'll also call the refetch again. Okay. And also give a toast, then call the time out function in order to close the open dialog, right? Okay. Open dialog, which, okay, it's here. Okay, so I hope you understand what we are doing. Okay, great. Now let's check from the table here where we have okay, so we have these two actions. Great. So the edit and the delete are there. User status. Okay, so I think I can uncomment this one. Okay, so user status. Did we have a function for? I didn't. Okay, I don't think we created that. Okay, so let's just say cons so cons user status click, right? Great. So we'll get this and that. Inside we set selected equal to this, then we'll set open to true. Okay, great. And I think we can now comment this. Where is it? Okay, great. It's on comment. Okay. Okay, so let's try and see. Since I am the admin, if I click on here, great. If I click here, okay, if I click here, this one opens. Okay, if I click on edit, okay, so this is okay, me. Let me see, admin is straighter. Okay, and update and see. Let's hope. Okay, so we get something went wrong. Okay, great. So let's check what went wrong. So the thing it's from our back end here. If you check, is that user.save is not a function. Okay, so it is coming from user controller, where user.save. I want to believe is this. So this should be great small. So it is this user we are saving, right? Great. Okay, great. Okay, let's go back and check. If I click on save administrator, okay, I hope it's correct. We still get something went wrong. Okay, let me reload and see. Oh, let me check. Oh, I think it went through, because if you check from here, you can see we're getting 201. Okay, perhaps we did not load our front end again. Okay, you see, so it has changed. Great. So I think I can change it back and see. And still getting something went wrong. The effect has been, yeah, it has been affected, but we're getting something went wrong. Okay, so let's check where from that. We have delete, edit, and this. Okay, so this was this one. So when I click on this, set this and open to true. Okay, great. Okay. So if then we need to go here, because if you check from here, we have the user modal, right? And we pass in the open and selected data. Great. And we pass in the, okay, great. So we can go here and okay, so this, we don't even use this, so we can delete it like this. Okay, so here something went wrong. I think it's from here. So remove this. Right, great, and make sure this is imported. Okay, I think it's imported. Great, I think that's our error. And let's try it again. This administrator, and hope it works. Oh, something went wrong. Let's reload. Okay, changes affected. Okay. Oh, it's still getting something went wrong. Oh, okay. It has been updated. So this is those so that it has been updated. Okay, profile updated successfully, and I think the refetch. Maybe there's no refetch in there. Okay, so it's working. Okay, great. So we can go back here, and when I click on the status, right? Okay, so edit. When I click on the status, where I pass this. Okay, so when I click on this status here, where, no, not here. Okay, here, right here. I think I should rather set open action instead. Okay, great. Okay, so now let's try. So if I click on this, great, so we have it like this. Okay, no, okay, so how do we perform the action? If you check from here where we have open dialog, okay, we open that. This is the confirm, and this is the action. So we're passing this already. Okay, so we can try it. Meaning it's it. Let's change this user one, okay, to disable and see if it will work. Okay, So I think it's not working. Let's go and check user action. Let's go and check to see if we're actually utilizing this. Okay, so it's here. So why? So why isn't it going through? Okay, let's check. Perhaps we're getting any error. From here, we can come back to. Okay, so because now we are passing this function, right? User handler, this function here, right? Which takes okay, so we're using that function. Okay, so which calls the user action, and we pass the active and is selected, I mean, which is equal to the selected active and also the ID, right? Okay, so I want to believe, then do the refetch, and yeah, that's it. So why? Okay, so let's check from, I think I can close some of these things. User, okay, we're here, so let me close this. Let me close this, and I think add user can go. API, this can also go. Great. So perform user action. So this is the action. User, then data slash ID. Okay, great. So why isn't it going through? Okay, I think I'm not passing the body. So sorry, body. It's an update request. So I need to pass the body, which is the data we're getting. Okay, I believe this solved the issue. Okay, so let's reload and see. Okay, so if I click here and I would say yes, okay, great, and it has changed. So great, and we can change it back, I believe. Yes, great. Okay, so let's also try to delete it and see. Delete action, perform delete, and it's gone. But it wasn't great. I hope you can see that the record is gone, but we still have the dialogue there. Maybe we closing the wrong dialogue. Okay, not this. So we can close this action handler. Okay, so when we click on delete, we set open dialog, this one, right, to true instead. So yeah, we set it to false. Okay, yeah, that's what we set to true. We set it to false again. I don't know whether it's from here, right? Okay, let me put a message that deleted successfully. Okay, great. And let me reload and see. Okay, if I click to delete, great, it's gone. Okay, great. I think it was from the message. Okay, so we can create user, new user, title developer. Now let's say new user at CodeWave, developer. Put it through, it goes through. Great. Okay, I think, yeah, refetch or reload and see. Okay, great, it's here, right? So it works. Great. So now I think we are done. We can now take action. We can edit. We can also delete. Okay, so in our dashboard, let's search for dashboard. No, dashboard. Okay, great. So I can close this. Okay, so how do I get the how do we get the dashboard information? The dashboard information. Oh, okay. I think let's finish with the user lesson first, right? So we are left with how can we, when it comes to the user, how we can read the notifications, right? As well as change our password, how we can get the notification. Okay, so I need just to bring them. Okay, so how do we get notification? We use query and we go to user. Okay, the notifications, then we get the notification, right? Great. So this will help us get the notification, right? It's nothing, that's why I'm just doing copy and paste it. Okay, then we are left with other two, how we can mark notifications as read. Okay, so now these two, okay, so just three functions, right? So mark notification as read is a mutation, right? And that one will go to notification as read and we pass the type. It's read type to what? The type that will send, whether it should be one or all. They will pass the ID as well. That is also a put request. Then we pass the data. Okay, we include the credentials, and change password is also a mutation, right? So we go to the endpoint of change password. Okay, great. So let's export this three: get notification, mark notification as read, and password change. Okay, so get notification. Get notification, it's a query. Okay, then mark notification, it's a mutation. Then the other one is change password, mutation. Great. Okay, so if you check, where are we changing our password? Here. Oh, okay. Okay, I don't think I added that one. Okay, so let's quickly go to our navbar. Navbar, great. Okay, so inside the navbar, this is where we get in the notification, right? Okay. Okay. So let's go into get notification. And I think, okay, great. So we have it here. Okay, so now let us import this. So this will help us get the notification. And this will also help us to mark it as either read or not. Great. Okay, so in the view, okay, so in the read handler and the view handler, right? Okay. Now let's first deal with the read handler. It should be an async, right? And when we click on it, we will get the type and the ID. Okay, great. Don't forget, you see, we are not putting curly braces, right? So when we are passing the parameters, we need to pass it in the order. The type has to be first and the ID has to be second. If we put the parentheses, then we can pass it in any order, right? Okay, great. So just say await mark as read. Okay, great. Then the type will be type and ID will be ID. Great. Dot unwrap. Great. Then we just do refetch. Okay, I hope we have that. Okay, yeah, we have that one. Then we just fetch the notification again. Pretty simple. Okay, how do we do this? Also, it should be an async. And here we'll get the element, right? Great. And inside view handler, oh, I think this one's supposed to go here. This is for read type and ID, and this is the view handler. Okay. So when we click on view, we set selected to the element. Great. Then we call the read handler. And I'll pass the type as 1, right? So we just want to read 1. and the ID as the ID of the element that is coming. You understand? Then we set open to true. Oh, true. Great. I think that will be all. Okay. Okay, so I don't think I have the view notification here, so I'll just copy and paste it. Now I have this component view notification. I'm passing this, that, and also the selected. So I'll just copy and paste the component. Okay, copy, and I'll come to components here, and I just paste it, and let's go over it. Okay, so we have this. We are importing from, I believe this button goes to the button that I have here. Great. Okay. Okay, so we importing from this also. I hope it also goes there. Great. Okay, so my imports are correct. So we're getting the dialog, we're accepting the various props, right? And like we have been doing, so we set the title, right, of the title to the tax title, right, and the text itself of the notification. And there's a button, and when we click close, we just go to close, right? Okay. So here, when we click on view, then import this. So when we click on view notification, right, it will set the details, then we open the notification. So whilst opening the notification, then we send the request to also view, right? I hope you understand. Great, so we can try it and see. Okay, so I don't think I have any notification. Okay, I myself do not have any notification. Great. Okay, so let's continue. Once we create a task, we'll check it and see it's working. Okay, and the change password. Okay, so this is done. This is done. Okay, so let's go. I think that one should be in the user avatar here. Okay, so in the user avatar, I'll call this two. So in the user avatar here, just scroll down, 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 down. Okay, here, I'll just put this. And the first one calls the add user, right? We have this form already. So we'll just pass this props, right? Great. And this, I don't think we have it. Okay. So it's really a simple form. I'll just copy it, then paste it. My bad that we didn't do those things. So, okay. So we have, these various things we're getting, and this, I am not sure. So let me remove it first. Okay. And change user password. Okay. So the great. Okay. So it's here. Then we're getting the it's loading, right? We're passing the data. And when we click on the handler, right, we make sure that the password matches, right? When they matches, then we continue. If they don't match, we return, and we call our function and we pass the data to it, right? Okay, so I hope, and this is just a small form, right? A dialog with the title and test inputs, two test inputs for the new password and the confirm password, as well as we have a button to perform the action. Okay. Okay, great. So I will import that one also here. Okay, so let's user data. Great. Is equal to user, and we have the user here. Okay, great. So out of the box, let's check if it works. Right. Okay, so we have an error which says that I failed to resolve loading from. Great. Okay, so loading. I think the path for loading. Where is loading? Okay, let me remove it and import it again. So loading. Okay, great. What again? Let me reload and see, make sure it works. Okay, so if I go here and click here, now you can see, okay, great. So this one pops up, right? Okay, great. CodeWave. Okay, if I add one and see, we get this an error. Let's reload and see. Perhaps it went through, so we can check from our terminal and see. Okay, so you can see that the profile it went through, but I think the error it's coming from the error profile update. Why is it here? I think from here, I think the error is either coming from where we haven't this toast message, I believe. So I can just put profile updated successfully. Okay, so I think I can put profile updated successfully, and let's make sure it's imported. I believe it's imported. Great. Okay, so let's go in here. Yeah, I believe it's imported. Okay, so and let's also try the change password. So if I go here, I am still. Oh, okay. So profile updated. So the first one didn't go. Okay. Okay, great. Let's also check for change password. Okay, great. I've forgotten my password, but let me try something. Okay. Okay, so that one password does not match. Okay. Okay, great, and it goes through. Okay, so our password has been changed. So these tools are also working. Okay, and I believe that's all. So we can move to dashboard. Okay, so let's move. Close this, and close this, and go to dashboard. Okay, so dashboard. This is the card. Okay, so dashboard is here. Okay, great. So in a dashboard, we need to fetch the information from the task, right? So here, let's go to the API again and create a task API slice dot js. JS. Okay, so okay, so I'll bring this path, right? Okay, great. And I'll just put cons task URL, which is slash task. It's supposed to be task. Okay, great, like this. Okay, so inside first, let us get the various endpoints, right? Like this. Okay, so let us first fetch the dashboard information. Get dashboard information. Okay, so inside here, I'm going to bring that one. So you see, this time, this is also a query, right? We're going to task. Okay, then let me make it plural. Okay, great. Okay, so we'll task then slash dashboard we include is a get request, right? Okay, so let's export cons post. Let's change this to task. Great, to task API slice. And what are we going? We're getting get dashboard. Get. It's supposed to be a query. Okay, let me import this. Great. So get. Great. Great. So we're gonna use this, right? So let's go to dashboard. And in the dashboard here, let's do cons. We'll get data, right? We can get is loading, right? Okay. Then they all should be equal to this. Great. And this. Okay. Great. So where we have this, we set totals. Okay, so I can now bring this down, and instead of it being equal to summary, I can say it should be equal to data question mark to avoid error. Okay, so to avoid error, because when we load the page, the data will be fetching, right? To avoid it, I place a condition that whilst it is fetching, we need to show the loading, right? Good. So say if it's loading, we just need to return this until it finishes loading, then we continue, right? Okay. So once we are done with loading, I think we can remove this error. Okay, great. Then change this here to data. We can change, I think, this to also data. And okay, data, great. Okay, so let's go and see. Okay, so if I click on this, so you see whilst it is loading, instead of us getting the error, we'll load then when it is done. So we have 4 tasks, 0 completed, 0 in progress, and they're all to do, right? Okay, and yeah, okay, so we need to now check what we'll do here. Okay, great. So if we go inside here, right? Great. This is true. We get in. Let's check the graph first. Okay, the chart. So if you check the chart, okay, so we need to pass data to the chart. Okay. So we need to pass the dashboard task. I mean chart. We pass data should be equal to data which we get, then the graph graph data. Okay, great. So we'll go inside here and structure the data. Okay, great, data. Then the chart data here, I think we can remove it now. Let's okay, good. Let's pass this data as data. Great, and I don't think we are using this anywhere again, so we can remove this one, pass this here, and let's go and see. Okay, so we don't have any tax. I want to believe we do. Okay. Let's first, did we save here? Good. So we have 4 and they're all to do. Okay, great. So let's also pass the information to this. Okay, so here we change this to data. Okay, change also this to data. And let's go and check. Okay, so now we have 4 tasks and 1 user. Okay, great. So great. I think yeah, that's all. We can now move to task, right? Great. Okay, so I think we are done with this. We are done. So you can just press Alt and Shift then O to format the document and also remove all unused imports, right? Great. So charts, I'll close it. I'll close this and use that API route. Okay, great. So I'll go to task. And here is where we have a lot happening. Okay. We have a lot happening here. So first we need to fetch the data, right? Okay. So how do we fetch the data? So let's go back here. And here we need to get the task, get all tasks. So I will just bring that one. Okay, so get all task. Okay, so this one ends here. Okay, so get all tasks is also a query, right? And we can pass a search, right? We can okay, so it goes, we pass various queries, right? The stage and also a trashed, right? Because we use the same on the trash page, right? So let's export it here. that get all. Great. Great. Okay, so on the tags page here, here, okay, so we say cons, then we get data. It's also loading, right? It will be coming from use get all task query, and we are going to pass the various options. This is loading. Okay, so I think I can remove this now and change this to it's loading. Great. So if it's loading, then we show this. Okay, so now we can pass the various queries, right? We can pass them. So string query, this will be this will be equal to the status, right? Okay, status. Now it should be status. Okay, great. And it's trashed also should be equal to, here on this page it should be equal to nothing. And I think we also have search, which I'll say now for now. Okay, so I want to believe the various fields are passed appropriately from here, right? Great. And if it goes through, where were we getting the data? It goes through. Okay, great. I think it's here. We're passing the data where here. Great. So I think we can pass the data that we are fetching instead of the dummy task, right? So we'll pass data.task, and here also data.task. Okay, let's go and see. Okay, great. So if I reload it, you see it's loading. Then we have 4. Great job. And if I go here, we have 4 as well. And I want to believe if I go here, okay, there's no completed task, there's no in progress task and to do. Great. So now you see, with just one query and just formatting it, we've been able to do all of this, right? Great job. Okay, so now what do we have next? Okay, let's see. Okay, I think we're done here. So what we have to do, if you check, so now we need to create this, right, as well as add subtask. Okay, so let us go into add task. Search add task. Great. So add task. Go inside the task slice, right? And I'll bring 3 of them. So this one ends here, right? So okay, so I wrote 3. The first one is create task, which is a mutation. We take data, we go to this endpoint, right? And the second one is duplicate. So we just need the ID, then we duplicate it. It's also a post request. And the third one is update task, right? Okay, great. So this is how we update the task. Okay, so now let us export this 3. So create task mutation. The other one is duplicate task mutation, and the other one is update mutation. Okay, great. So let's go in here and add a task. Okay, so now I'll bring a function which will help us do the upload image, right? Okay, so I'll bring it and paste it here. Okay, so let's go over it. It's coming from Firebase documentation, right? Okay, so I need to get this. Okay, so I need to get a get storage, right? Okay, get storage. All of this. Okay, great. So I'm going to import get storage from Firebase slash storage. From Firebase slash storage, right? Okay, I'll need ref, right? I'll also need get download. Great. When we upload it, we need to get the URL, and we also need upload byte resumable. Great. I think there's 4, and we also need to import. Okay, so if you go to the Firebase here, you can see that we okay, so you can see that we exporting the app, so we should export this, right? So let's say export cons app, right? Great. Then we pass the Firebase config, so we need to import this right here. Okay, so say import app from I think it's dot slash dot slash, then we go back again to utils slash Firebase. Great. Format it. Okay, so here we have the function, the storage using this and passing the app that we just called, and we pass the file to it. Right now we give name using date.getType, using the type that we append the file name. Then we create a storage ref using the ref from Firebase and pass the storage as well as this name, the file name, right? And we call the upload task. Then we use the upload byte resumable and pass the storage ref and the file, right? So then we return this whilst it is reloading. We get the resolve when it is successful and reject when an error occurs, right? Okay, so we'll just upload it and we get the URL here, right? Okay, so now we have this file. Okay, I mean, we have this, which I will define up here. Maybe I can define it. Okay, it's here already. Okay, so it's an array, so we can have more files, right? So once we're doing more files, it will just be pushing it into it. We'll just be pushing into it until we are done, right? When we are done, then we resolve it. If an error, okay, then we reject with the error. Okay, great. Okay, so now we have this here. Okay, so we have all of this here. Now we need what we need is to get the function, right? We just need to call our functions. So first I'll bring these 3 things here. These are the 3. Okay, so I have create as I'm calling the functions we just here did, import it, right? It's loading, and they also update tags because we can update the tags from here as well, right? And I'm changing this, is loading to is updating, right? And I have a new variable by name URLs, which is equal to task. So if the task exists, if we want to update, right? You remember, if we want to update, meaning if we want to update, we can remove this from here. If we want to update, we'll pass tags here, right? So when we pass the tags, we'll pass tags. If it exists, then we'll pass the asset URL to this URL. And if we want to add new one, fine. But if it doesn't exist, right? By default, we pass it to, if this one exists, then we pass it to it, right? If it doesn't exist, we make it null. Okay, great. I hope you understand what I mean. Okay, so in the handler, right? Okay, so first we need to upload the assets first. And how are we going to do it? Let me mark this as an async. right? We'll get the data through here. Okay, so how are we going to do it? I'll paste this. Now this is a for loop, right? So we are saying that for const file of assets. So if you remember, we have the assets here, right? So we'll get the assets the user selected in here. Okay, so file of assets, right? Then we set uploading to true. Then we'll go into a try catch. So we'll want to loop over all the assets that we have, right? And be calling this function to upload them one by one, pushing the URLs into the download URLs that we have up there, right? Great. So once we are done, then we set this to false. Then we can continue and now do save our data, right? Okay. So how will we save it? Okay. Okay, so how we're going to do the saving is, so now in a try catch, we just say we're now creating a new object with new data, and we're spreading the data that we're receiving through props here, right? We spread the data and the assets. So now we spread the assets. I mean, the assets URL, the URL that we had from top here, right? Okay, so we spread it and we spread the new ones that we have uploaded. Now this will happen if this we want to update, meaning that this will not be now, there will be values in there, and perhaps we may want to add new assets, so we can add new asset. But if it's a new one, then here will be now. So even if we spread it, there will be nothing. Then we just add the new ones that we have uploaded. Okay, then we pass the various fields. Then we check. We say const result or response should be, we check that if tax.id exists, meaning that we want to update. If this exists, meaning that we want to update, so we do this, we spread the data, then we add the ID which is equal to task ID here. If it doesn't, that means we want to create new one, then we pass this, right? Okay, so let's make sure we import this. Okay, great. And I believe it should work. So let's go and test it. This, let me make sure I reload. Great. Okay, great. Test tags from Frontend. Okay, so the users, select myself and this person. It should be, let me give a different one, and I'll give today's date. It should be medium, right? Okay, let me select an asset and see. Okay, so I'll select this image and click on submit. Okay, so we see uploading assets. Let's wait and see if it goes through. Okay, so we see uploading here. I don't know the size of the image, but I believe. Okay. Okay, maybe I should check from here. Oh, I don't think continue. Oh, my bad. Click continue, and let's go to here. Oh, okay. I think we were carried out. So go to engage here. No, not build, and go to storage. Storage under click on get started. Great. And perhaps okay, production is set. So yeah, production done. It's taking time. I think it's my internet. Okay, great. Okay, so don't forget. Let's go back and see. We had an error. Okay, let's try again to see now that we still have an error. Unauthorized. Okay, so I think go to rules and rules and okay, I think we should change this to true if true. Okay, and publish it. Okay, I think it should work. Let's see. Uploading. Okay, so you can see uploading, it's getting printed. Great, and we get a message that it is posted. Great. So let's come and how do I even refresh it? Refresh and see. Okay, let's hope that our image get uploaded as well as great. Okay, so we have the image here. Great. So if you have come this far, kindly don't forget to like and subscribe and also share with your friends. Okay, great. So we have it here. Now we've been able to post. Now, yes, the colors are working perfectly. Great. If we go here, it is also here, right? Good. So if I go to in progress, I think I should see one. It is here. Perfect. Good job. Okay, so now we can upload task together with image, right? Or assets. Great. Okay, let's try to update it because we did check update task, edit it. Okay, so you see now we need to pass the task here, right? Okay, good. Okay, great. So can close this. Okay, so now I think I can move to here, go into maybe board view. Yeah, in the board view, task card. Okay, great. Okay, so task card, and we are accepting tasks here. So where? Okay, task card, we are accepting tasks, and let's scroll down there here. Great. So okay, so where we are adding subtask, we passing the ID, and where do we have the functionality to oh, okay, I think that's functionality to do the edit and those things. Where? Great. Okay, it's in the dialogue. It's in the dialogue. Okay. Okay. So in the dialogue, great task. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We get it here. We get a task here, and let's work on the various actions. Okay. Right. So that okay. Great. So these functions are not working for now. So let's work on them. Okay, so task dialog. Okay, so I need to call the delete task and also duplicate task, right? So let's look into the API slice where we have the delete. We do not have the delete, so I'll bring this, which is trashed task, right? Okay, this one, we need to trash the task, and I'll just go trash, use trash mutation. Great. So in dialog here, great, we need to get those functions, right? Okay, so one, we need why not copy and paste so that we don't waste time. Okay, so now we have one to trash the tags, which we calling it delete here, yeah, and the one to duplicate the task. Okay, great. So inside now we have these three functions. Okay, so the duplicate, the delete, and delete click, and the delete handler. Okay, When we click on delete, right, on the delete click, we'll set open dialog to true, right? As simple like that. And on the delete click on the delete handler, right, we call our action, which we have been doing over and over. So I'll just say async, and this I'll just copy one of them and paste, and just call the delete, right, and pass the task ID, and also call it trashed, right? Good, we just pass if it's trashed, so we'll call it trash and pass it. Okay, then let's import this. Great. And okay, then we'll reload it. Yeah, pretty simple. Okay, great. And on the duplicate, I'll also do async. Yeah, on a duplicate, I'll also bring the function. Okay, so also we'll call this async, we call this and pass the ID to it, right? And we just show the message that it has been duplicated. Okay, so where do we have the duplicate handler? I don't think we're using it. Okay, so here we have this to open the task, we have this to edit, we have add subtask. Okay, and okay, great. And duplicate handler. Okay, I think there's a typo. Okay, let me copy one to replace the other. Oh, okay, great. It's now fine. Okay, so duplicate. Okay, so let's try it and see if it will work. Let's say I want to first edit this. Okay, so the edit is not working properly. Let's say I want to duplicate this. Okay, great. So we receive a message, right? And it has been duplicated. Great job. Okay, so let's look into why the edit is not working. Okay, so we'll set open edit to true, right? Good. Okay. Okay, so we're passing the task. So why is it not going? Okay, so here I will bring this, right? I need to get a default value. So default values, I'm just setting it to the tax that we're receiving here, right? And this React hook form has a default value, so I'll just say default value should be the default value because it is the same name, right? Great. So I want to believe it should work. This. Okay, so we are getting an error now, which is something date formatter. It's not defined. We have date formatter from where? Okay, great. This import it. Okay, great. So clear the console and let's see. Reload again. Okay, so here I can go to edit and now I have it here. Okay, so I'm going to put new, right? And let's say I can change it to normal and it's gone. Okay, so if I did it updated, then reload and see. Okay, yes, great. So been able to update it, right? Okay, so the duplicate and this, they are all working now. And let's deal with how to add subtasks, then delete. So if I click on subtask, okay, great. Okay, so let's go into it. Okay, so when we click on add subtask, add subtask. Okay, great. Sub. Okay, so how do I add subtask? If I go top here, great. So I have this to create subtask. Okay, so create subtask. I need to get that function. Okay, so inside here, I will bring that function. Right, so create subtask is a mutation. We get the data and the ID. We go to this route, right? Yeah, it's a put request. So we just update it. So create subtask mutation. Create subtask mutation. Okay, then go in here, uncomment this and just import it. Great. And this is the handler. Okay, so I can now uncomment this, right? Okay, so pass the data, make sure you import the toast. Once it is true, we give a message. Okay, so I believe it should work. Let's reload. Okay, so if I go here, add subtask. Okay, say this is a subtask. Okay, today tag is testing. Put, and now we get an error, which is objects ID something. Okay, let's go and see. It says that cast to object ID field for value undefined. Okay, type string at path underscore ID for yeah model. Okay, so I think we have issue with the ID, and where is the ID? The ID is here. So okay, let me try to console log the ID MC. So when we click on it, if we get the ID, okay, so we're getting the ID. Okay, now it's undefined, right? Okay, it's there. Okay, so why? Okay, so let's try again. Okay, so we're getting, it's an error, which is this cannot. Okay, so let's also check from our back end if we're getting the same thing, then we know where it is coming from. Okay, I think it's coming from the back end, right? Yes, subtask, yes, undefined, I'll get of undefined string, yeah, underscore ID, and I believe, where, okay, so it's in task controller here. Where do we have this? Okay, so create subtask. Okay, so in the body we get ID, right? Okay, so let me check from task route, create subtask. Okay, there is an ID, right? Good, and we're getting it here. Okay, so if we go to the API slice here, create subtask, we're adding this ID also here. Okay, so maybe in here, let me do one thing. Okay, let me do this. console log request.params and see that whether we're getting the ID here or not. Okay. Let me pull it up. Okay. Let's wait. Okay, so it's in. Let me reload. Okay, so here, here, okay, there's a task, date, testing, submit, great. So we still get data message on is not defined. Okay, on is not defined. Which one is on? Okay, so on is not defined and it is coming from controllers here. Oh, okay, great. JSON. Okay, great, great, great. And okay, so the ID was printed. Okay, great. So now we can remove this. Then it means that then it might have been created. Yes, it might have been created. Okay, great. It was created. So let's try this. Add subtask, testing subtask again. I mean, I don't know what to add. So I mean, add something. Design. Great. Click. Okay, great. It goes through. Okay, okay, okay. Great. And I think it go through. Okay, great. It's here. Okay, great. Design. Okay, so I think we can add a reload when we finish. It reloads it, right? Okay, so it is working. So let us also try the delete. Let me delete one. I think we worked on the delete. Delete, click, and let's see. It also goes through successfully. Great, and it has been deleted. Great, great job. So now we're left with open 1, 2, 3, 4. They all works. That's fine. And we're able to create task, right? And here, I also want to believe this will work. Okay, that's not working. Okay, great. So this should work. Okay, so let's work on this. Okay, hello friends. Let's continue. Okay, so I realized something. Okay, so you realize that our notification is not showing even though we have task which has our ID, right? We are associated with this task, but we still do not get the notification, right? So what might be the cause? Let's go and check. So I decided to console log the notification data, and I can see we're getting data here, right? So meaning we're fetching the data. But if you come here, you can see that we are checking the length of the data, and the data return, right? The data return, it's an object. It is not an array, so we're not getting the length, right? So this might come from the user controller. So let's go check the user controller, go to get notification. And if you check, you see that we are fetching only one. So remove the one and let it be fine, right? Great, fine. So that it will return an array. Okay, so I think we can close it. And let's reload it and see. So now you can see that we have notifications associated with us. And if I click on it, you can see they are showing like that. And if I click on anyone, right, so we view it like this, close, and now it has reduced to 3. If I click again, great. So meaning and we can mark all as red also, right? Great, and it's gone. Great, and great job. Okay. Okay, and also if you can see that this task, when we duplicated it, the team members did not come, right? So let's go and see why the team members did not come. And that, and close this. And that I think supposed to be in the task here where we have duplicate. Great, it's supposed to be here. Okay, so so new task should be this, right? We're passing the tags that we fetch, the team IDs should come. Okay, so we're saving it here too. Okay, so if I should okay, so let me go and try one more and see. Okay, so I will try. Okay, let me try to create a new one. How many users do I have? Okay, um let me fetch the user record first, then we can go there. Okay, so when we are adding task, right, we need to get the user. Okay, so where we have the user, select user, right? So if you go to add task here, we have a place where we're showing the user. I think I can toggle some of these things. So great, so here, right? Okay, so here we need to get the user list, right? Okay, so if you remember, we have the get team list query, right? So I will use get team. I hope we have it. Get team list. I'm not sure. Okay, let's try. Use get. No, get team. Okay, I'm not sure we have it. So let me go to the user. Okay, so here slice, and let's go into user slice where we have get team list. It's here. Okay, so use get team list query, which okay, so let's go here and I will put that one here. Let me import it. Great. We can also get the loading. I don't know. Okay, so okay, we can put the loading here as a dependency when it's done, right? When it changes, then we set the values again. Okay, let's go and check. So if I click to add new, okay, so you see, okay, now let me reload it first. My internet these days seems to be very slow. I don't know why, but that's not okay. Great. Okay, so it's not showing. So let's go and check it why it's not showing. Okay. Let me try to console log the data and see. Okay, so we're getting undefined. Undefined. Okay, so if we go into here, get team list, does it take anything? Nothing. Okay. So user list. So I think we can get the error. Console log the error. So error is now and data is also now. And if you check from here, you can see that okay, so get team is still pending. Okay, so we can go, I think, yeah. Okay, let's check the user controller. Okay, get theme list, right? This one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So I think now it's through. So here and Okay, so now we have here. So we have 2 users, right? Okay, great. So I think I can remove. Yes, we have 2 users. I can remove this. I can even take off the error. Okay, great. And I can close this as well. I can close this. I have a lot of tabs open. So let me begin to close some of them. Okay, let me leave this. And I can close all of this and see. Okay, so we're going to check here to see if it work, right? Okay, so I go here and new task. Then I'll assign this to users, right? I'll put it to this. Okay, the date should be today. I'll set it to high. Let me try an asset. Maybe this, just one. Then I click on submit. So uploading. Okay, great. So I think it's through. Okay, so it's here, new task, right? Okay, great. And the users has been added. Okay, so now what we can do is improve. Let us try to duplicate it. Okay, let's add a subtask first. New task subtask, right? Okay, the date should be today. Testing, true. Okay. Okay, let me reload and see. Okay, so I have this. Now, let me duplicate it and say duplicate. And it has been duplicated. Okay, so great. Now the users are here. Okay, great. Okay, so it's working. Great, the duplicates are working. Okay, so now let us go here. Now let's continue from here and let's find a way to make these things also work. Okay, great. Let's make this edit and delete also work, right? Okay, so this delete, I'm not sure it does work. Okay, so let's go. So I can close this controller. In here, I think we are on the table. Okay, great. So here, okay, so the function to delete it's empty, right? Okay, great. And let me go here. Okay, so okay, delete, right? Great. So we pass the ID on delete. Okay, so I think I don't remember, but let's check if we have the delete task. I think we have the delete task. Delete. Okay, yeah, we were using the trash. Okay, trash tags. Yeah, great. Okay. So in here we can bring it, right? We can say cons then give the name as trash task equal to use trash mutation. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think that's it. Trash task mutation. Okay, so in here let's make it an async and see inside. Let us try and catch errors. Okay, then I'll just bring the error. So use import. Okay, make sure it's imported. Toast. I think it didn't come. Toast. Okay, it's here. So how do we do it? As usual, we'll say cons result should be equal to await, right? Trashed task. Then we'll pass in the various details. And if you remember, we'll pass the ID, which will be the selected, and is trashed to trash. Okay, so we just pass these two, right? Okay, then dot unwrap. Okay, and let's give a toast message success. If there's this dot message, great. And I'll give a timeout, right? Okay, I'll give a timeout. Okay, great. So Okay, so let's try it. Reload here, delete, click, and deleted. I think it's gone. Okay, great, deleted, great. And I think also the edit. So in the edit, I think we can go to the board. What we're doing in the edit. What we're doing in the edit. Edit. Okay, the edit is here. So here, what we're doing, when we say edit, okay, it's here. Okay, we just set open edit. Okay, so maybe I can copy this and take it here. Right, go back and on okay, on edits we set this, right? Okay, great. And where we're using the function? Okay, then I think I can copy this as well and bring it here, maybe at the bottom of the table. Great. Okay, so this is there. Now task needs to be task. So how do I get a task? Okay, no, these are tasks. So okay, so I get selected. So when you click on it, so maybe I can create a function that says edit task handler, right? We'll accept. Okay, so we'll accept element and we'll pass set selected, right, to the element. And what are we doing here? Then we'll set open this to true. Okay, great. We set this to true. Then we can attach this handler to here, right? On click. Then we can call this like this and pass task to it. Yes, great. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, so we have an error, which is I guess something is undefined. Okay, so task is not defined. Okay, great. Task. Okay, this is not defined. I want to believe it's this. Okay, I guess I should check the line. So on table line 176, line 176. Okay, great. So here I'll pass the selected instead. Okay, great. Okay, I can close this. Internet can be slow sometimes, but let's manage. Okay, so if I click here, okay, great. Okay, 2, then I change it to 3, and let's see. Great, it's updated. Okay, great job. Okay. Okay, great. So it changed. Okay, so now what again is left? I want to believe, yeah. Okay, so now we can add subtasks, we can do all of these things, we can add this. So what I believe is this, how to open the task and the trash, right? Okay, so let's come here. Okay, so how do we get a single task? I'll go to the task API here. Okay, so API slice, how do I get a single task? I'll just copy and bring this here. Okay, great. So we go to task/the ID, it's a get request. Okay, so let's say get single task query. Great. And we'll go to I think we're done with all of this. We go to task details page. Okay, so here, task details. Okay, so we have these are activities. This okay, great. So now we have the ID, we get it selected, which we're setting to 0, and we are getting the task here. Okay, so let's fetch the task from here. Okay, so fetching task, we just have to call cons, right? We get data, we get it's loading. They are all coming from this, great. And if you remember, it takes the ID, so we need to pass the ID that we are getting from here. Data is declared but not used. Okay, so now we can say that task this should be equal to maybe data dot task. I don't know, but I believe, or maybe we can console log the task also and see. Okay, it's undefined. Okay, so here maybe okay. If you remember, I think in the dashboard we had this. Okay, so if you remember in our dashboard here, we said if it's loading, let's just copy this, close it, go to here, close it, come here. Okay, so here when it's also loading, I think we can just paste this, right? Let's import this. Okay, and let's go see. Let's reload and see. Okay, so it's here, right? Okay, then we get this. Okay, now I think it's working, and everything it's working as expected. It's in progress. This asset is 1, subtask 1. It was assigned to these 2 users, yes, and we have subtask here. Great. If you go to the activity, we are greeted with an error. So let's go and check the activity. Okay, so in the activity, we also need to fetch the activities. So I can remove this. Okay, so activities, great. Okay, so that one too, let's go here. And I don't think we have the activities. So single, this, duplicate. Okay, so I will also copy that one. It's pretty simple. Okay, so here, I'll also copy that one and bring it. The same thing we have been doing. This is also a mutation, and we pass in the data and the ID, right? And we go into the endpoint. It's a post request, right? Okay, great. So we don't have to waste time on it. It is called post activity mutation. Use post activity mutation. I'll just copy it, go here, and inside here, right? Okay, inside the details here, first we need to get okay, great. So I will say const then post activity, great. Then I also get the is loading, right? And they are all coming from this, great, comma. Okay, great. But you see that we are accepting the activity from here and the ID. So let's go here. If we get in post.this, I think the activity where we're calling it, we need to get, I think it should be data.activity. Okay, let's go try it. Oh, and we have a big fat error. Class name, something, this. Okay, I think I might have, okay, this can go away. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so if I click here, great. So we don't have any activity, right? So let's work on how we can post the activity. Great. So now we have this. It's an async function. We just call the try catch. Great. And as usual, copy the error message, right? Import this. I think it's up there already. Is it up? Yeah, okay, it's here. Okay, So inside now, we're going to say const result should be equal to await, right? Push activity. And we need to pass the data, right? Okay, so let's define the data here. Const activity data, I would say, should be equal to, right? The type should be equal to selected dot to lowercase. If you remember, we were saving it in lower cases, so that's why I'm doing that, right? So I have the selected here. When I select the activity type, I want to save it to lowercase because it is not in lowercase. If you can remember, it is here, right? Activity type, great, yeah, here. So I want to convert everything to lowercase. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that. Okay, the next one is the activity itself. The activity itself will be a text, will be equal to the text we're getting. Okay, comma. Okay, so we'll just pass here data as activity data and ID as ID. I think we're getting the ID here. Okay, great. So as ID, then we'll just say unwrap. Right, great. Then when it is done, what can we do? We can get refetch from here. So fetch, right? Okay, so when it is done, we'll just set the text to now, right? And pass a toast message, right? Then we'll refetch the data. Okay, so let's go here and pass the refetch so that we'll refetch the information. So that will be refetch, okay? And we'll pass it here. Refetch as refetch. Yes, I believe. Yeah, great. Okay, so let's go and see. Let's reload to avoid error. Okay, so I'll say project started, right? So I've take this project started. Let me page a post. Okay, I don't know, but something should have happened somewhere. Oh, okay, it should be result. This should be result. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so something is not right somewhere. Yeah, something is not right somewhere. So let me check. Okay, so I think it should be, where is the button? This is the button. Okay, here. So we call this under we await. Okay, let me console log the result, right? As well as there is a console log of the error. Okay, so let me open the console. Oh yeah. Okay, so handle task error reference error is not defined. Oh, okay, great. This should be this and this. Okay, this. Okay, so okay, so let's reload again. Okay, so started. Okay, so again, project started, then post. Okay, so there is an error that task activity something data task.activity.push is not a function. So this is coming from our backend. It's an error that task.activity.push is not a function. So we'll go to task controller, right? So here is push activity, and if I check, yes, activity. Oh, okay. So this is supposed to be an array and not an object, right? So let's go into task, the task model, and activity. Okay, so this is the activity. So it should be an array of objects, right? So like this. Great. And make sure you save the various changes. And let's also save this one. And now go and check. Okay, so let me reload it. Okay, I think I'm getting an error. I don't know. Okay, I think I'm getting property of undefined. Perhaps not here, but here. Um, okay, so I think, okay, let me go back and see. I think, okay, so what I will do, I don't know why, but I think I'm going to move this. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let's test it again. I'm going to say pro started. I'm still getting an error. Okay, so I believe something might have happened. So if I check from our database, right, the various tasks, I can see that the activities are object. So what I can do is that I will delete the first activity, the activity. So I'll delete the activity, right, and create it again and see. Okay, so let me try again. Okay, so now it's gone through, right? Okay, great. I think the refetch did not work. Okay, great. So let's go and continue. So now if I check the database, I should see one, right? I want to believe there should be one. Activities. Okay, it's here. Okay, great. So I have one object, right? And it's here. Great. Okay. So so in here we're fetching the this is the post. Okay. So here, let me console log the data and this refetch. Okay, great. So we have the task, right? And we have the task, the tags. Okay, these are the users. Task. Oh, okay. So it should be tags.activities, right? I think here it should be data.task.activities. Still not showing. Task. Oh, task. Okay, so great, it's here. If I place this is a comment. Okay, great. So oh, this is complete. Sorry, the comment. Okay, great. And okay, great. The various icons are applied accordingly. Okay, so great. We have this working. So now what is left? I think this is left. Trash, right? Great. Okay, so now everything is working. Let us go to trash items. Okay, controller. So we can go to trash page, and the trash page will be pretty simple because we have the hook already, right? Okay, so where are all this? Okay, here we're doing a lot of stuffs here. Okay, great. Okay, so now here we need to fetch data, right? And if you remember, we have the get all task query already, right? Which is here. So I'll just copy it from here. If you remember, it is here. Okay, it's this one. So I'll just copy it and bring it over here. Okay, great. So get to all. And now I need to pass this as true, right? Great. So it is true. Status should be now. Okay, great. And the search also now. Okay. And also now we need to bring the delete mutations, right? Okay, so delete. Now we're going to have the actual delete and restore, right? Great. The other one was to trash the item, just to change it to either true or false. And this one, which is delete restore task, right? It's also a mutation. It takes the ID and the action type, whether and this is the endpoint. We pass the ID and the action type as what a query, right? Which it's either delete restore or delete all. Okay, great. So delete restore mutation. Great. And so in here also I'll bring that one. Say delete restore, right? Equal to this. Import it. Great. Okay, great. Let me add task to it so that we know. Delete restore task. Okay. So now that we're fetching the data here, right? Where will we get in the dummy data, the dummy task? Task. Task. Okay, so in here, I believe here, right? We can now change it to data and see. Let's go back, go here, and we have error of, I think, undefined, right? Okay, great. So I mean, we still need just to get the loader, right? Get this. When it is loading, let's just prevent it from rendering. So maybe here we can put it here, right? And make sure you import this. Okay, and let's also console log task and see. Okay, so now we haven't. Okay, so task, it should be data.task, right? Great. So scroll down to where we are mapping, right? It should be data.task. Great. Okay, great. So we have this now. If I reload it, yes, great. Before it loads. Okay, so now let's handle these cases. Okay, and deploy our app. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so confirm delete is here, and we are passing delete restore. So let's go into this function. Where's this function? I want to believe we have it. Delete restore. I don't think we have this function. Okay, so let's create it here. Console. Okay, great. So let's create the function. So first we'll call try catch. Okay, and I'll put my error. Okay, so in here first I'll say let result great. Oh, okay. Okay, great. So we're going to use switch statement, right, to determine, because we have 4 cases, and when all of them it's true, we will show the toast notification. So import this, right, as well as have a timer to close the for. Okay, so what will be this cases? So I will just call switch, right, and say switch statement. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so the key will be type, right, and the first key will be when it is delete, right? Okay, so we have 4 cases, right? And I will duplicate this 4 times, 3. Okay, good. So the first one, then we'll say result should be await, right? Delete no, delete restore, no, this great, delete restore. Then we'll pass the ID as selected, right? Great. And we'll pass the action type as delete. Okay, great. So this will be the first one. Okay, and maybe I can copy it. The second one will be delete all, right? And we'll pass the action type will be delete all. Okay, and the third one will be restore, also restore. Okay, great. And the last one will be restore all. Okay. Oh, I think that's supposed to. Oh, okay. So I'll copy this again and bring it here. So I think we can even remove the default statement here. And let's wrap all of them with the unwrap. So say dot unwrap. Okay, great. So these are the various 4 conditions that we have, and I want to believe it should work without any issues. Okay, great. So let's test it. Let's reload it first. Great. So let me try to delete one. So delete one and click delete, and we are greeted with an error, which we can go back and check from here if there is an error. What is the error? The error is this is not defined. Oh, okay. So here should be result. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so it was actually deleted. And let's me try to restore one, restore, and see. So I think okay, it went through. Okay, so on restore, we're calling the refetch. Okay, great. So let's bring the refetch from here. Great. Okay, so if I do this, so it was also restore, and when I click on restore, let's see if all will be restored. Okay, so we also are greeted with an error, of which the error one is cannot set property of nar string this. So I think there is no value somewhere. Okay, this should be all. Okay. I think, yeah, my bad. This should be restore all. Okay. And okay, this is running. Okay, let me reload this, and now click, and it goes through. Okay, great. So let's go back, and I don't know which one I deleted, but I want to believe. Okay, so let me delete this. Great. Let me also delete another one. Let me also remove this. Okay, and if we go here, we should see the 2 there, right? So if I click on this also, they all should go. Great. Okay, so yes, I think everything is working as expected, right? Okay, great. We have 5 of them, and there are 5 here. Great. And okay, so let's test by adding one user and login and see. Okay, now let me activate this. Okay, so I'll copy this email. If I go here, I think I should see two. Okay, great. Okay, so this person has been assigned, new user has been assigned in this two. So let's hope and see it works as expected. Log out, and by default, the email and password is the login details. Login. Okay, so I believe, okay, so you cannot see the theme. Okay, that's great. Okay, so the user is not supposed to see others, right? So let me quick fix that. Okay, so this one should come from the dashboard. Okay, so here we have the user ID and this. And if you are, if admin is true, this, if admin it's else. Okay. Okay, so let me try to console log is admin here and see. I don't think this person is an admin. Anyway, let's check, because if it's an admin, this thing should show. Okay, its admin is false. It's false. Okay. Oh, okay, great. So I think it's now working. Great. So now you only see the post in which you are a member, right? Great. So you see that you have only two posts that you have been assigned, and that is what you see. You cannot see posts from other enclaves, right? Oh, and I think I did not change here also. So in here also, just all you need to, where you fetch your post, just add the same thing, right? And make sure we only select posts in which you are a member, right? Okay, so let's quickly move on to deployment. And in the deployment, just go to I believe we should go to netlify. Okay, so then okay, so firstly, make sure you push your code to GitHub, and I have done so. If I go here, go to repos and repositories, you should see task manager here, right? Okay, so you should see task manager. Also go to render.com, right? Go to render and register an account. And when you register an account, I have it deployed here already. But what you can do is just click on new, right? Before that, let's spin up this process. Okay. So when you build your app, okay, so what we can do is here I can just kill this terminal, right? And I can also kill this. Okay, so here all we can do is run npm run build, okay, to generate a distributable file, right? The static file, so it will come here. Okay, so whilst it is building, you can just, when you go to render, just click on web services, right? Connect through your GitHub to search through your GitHub repo, right? Your GitHub repo, select the repo. So in mine, I have so if I check, okay, this anyway, okay. If I check, you see I have two folders in here, right? Okay, yes, I have two folders in there. So just put the name, and the branch should be main, and here the folder is server, so just put server. And we are using node, so just let it be node. And the server build command, you just put this npm I, and the start command should be npm start, right? Okay, that then select free service and click on add env from, add from env. Copy your env variables and paste all of them here. When you paste all of them here, and just click on add and click, and now click on deploy, right? Or create web service, it will deploy. When it deploys, I do not have to deploy it again. When it deploys, you get a URL, right? So let me go to this one. You get a URL like this. Just copy the URL, right? Okay, and now go to netlify. Now that we have here, we have deploy manually. You can also use GitHub. So if we go, we see that it has been built. So you can see this distributable file. Just review it, right? Okay, review it in your file explorer. Okay, so this is mine, it's here, here. So just drag and drop it in here, right? Okay, just drag and drop it and wait whilst it do its magic. Okay, so whilst it is building, it will be deploying. Okay, great. Okay, so it has been deployed, right? And you can go to open the deployed site, right? And when you open it like this, now you can see, but we have one issue. When you reload it like this, you get this error, right? So in order to fix that error, first, let's go to site overview, right? In the site overview here, go to site configurations or site configurations and go to add environment variables. So click to add environment. You can import from .env right here, and you can just paste your env, right? Or you can also do it one by one. Okay, so I will do it one. Okay, so I'll just go into my code, env. Great. I'll just take off this and put now the URL, right, of this. Just copy this. Okay, make sure you use your own. Don't use mine because I will delete it. And okay, let's add env. Let's put them all here, right? And click on add. And that's all, it has been added, right? So now in order to fix that problem of when we deploy, we reload it, we get that error, just put this file inside the public folder, right? The file name is _redirects. There's no extension, and just put this, right? And now let us build it again. So run the same command, right? Whilst it is building, just go to the site overview, right? You can see this URL, right? You can see that there are, I think, two different URLs, but then let us edit the site name. So go to configuration and edit the site name. So I'll say CodeWave dash let's see, MERN tax dot dash manager, right? Okay, great. And let's change this name. So now this is the name, right? Okay. Okay, so just copy this URL, right? Copy this URL up to the app. Copy it, right? Go back to your GitHub. Go back to your GitHub like this. Go into the go here. Okay, so we need to add the our server address, right? I mean the link, the URL to our front end, to our server, so that our server will not reject it. I mean, due to the course policies, right? So that our cookies can also be set. Okay, so just go in. Okay, I think I deployed this one, not this one. So, I mean, anyone should work. Okay, so let's check if, okay, so it's finished building. Great. So go in here again, click on deploys. Okay, and just drag and drop again. Okay, so this drag and drop. Okay, uploading. Okay, and let's hope it works. Okay. Okay, so in here, go into server, and I think it's in the utils, the index file, right? Okay, and just click on edit, index, not here, this index instead. Okay, great. The main start file, the main index file. Okay. Okay, I think this is done. So let's reload and see. Okay, great. So even if we reload it, it still works. Great. So let's fix this. So go into the main file where we have the origins, right? So just add comma and put your URL in there. So click on edit, comma, and put your URL there, right? So that request to that endpoint will be accepted. Okay, so make sure you put comma and in parentheses and save the changes, right? Great. Go back to render, and you should see that changes should have been triggered, right? If you go to dashboard, you should see that it is deploying again. If it hasn't deployed, right? If it hasn't deployed, you can always click here and deploy latest commit, right? But mine is deploying again, so there's no need. And let's hope it's finished deploying. It has been deployed. And let's send a request again and see. We're still getting an error. I don't know what was the username. I hope this is the URL we added. CodeWave something. Okay, let me reload it and see. Okay. Okay, it is not working. Let me see the username I have been using. Okay, I think oh, I think I've forgotten my username and password. Let me log out from this one. Okay, so this one goes through. So why is this one not going through? Okay, so there is a fetch error. Okay, I think the issue is, okay, now you've been able to deploy it and it should work for you. The issue is that, I deployed, I have the app already deployed. It is not the one we just developed, right? So I think the .env files, the secret keys are different, and I am also connecting to a different database, so that's what is giving me the problem. However, if you are able to deploy your backend successfully and it's working and you use the same database, the same keys that you have, the different credentials supposed to work, right? And the good thing is that you've been able to deploy your app. When you reload it, it works. And make sure that you have the base URL, right? The base URL being added to your project. The origins here, right? It's been added to it, and you redeploy the server again. That's the basic thing. You need to do that, right? And once you do that, it's supposed to work. And also make sure that in your site configurations here, you have added an environment variable, because if you can recall, we have environment variable for base URL as well as the keys for Firebase, right? Okay, so make sure you have all of them set in place. And if you have all of them set in place, I believe you should be able to work on it. However, if you face any challenges, you can contact me. I have my social media platforms in the description. If you have come to this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next project. Happy coding. Thank you.